Hi Pungude. It's been almost 3 years since we last met, and you at that time were doing a documentary on your grandfather. Yes, the Sri Lankan Gandhi. Can you now? I'm sure a lot of things have taken place since then. Maybe you can update us on what you've been doing.
Most recently, I guess what would be most interesting is that we've started a program at Offer. Which is that we're giving 110,000 pairs of shoes to underprivileged children all over India.
Okay.
We've been doing this for the past since we last talked, so for the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And so far we've given about 450,000 pairs of shoes. But the good thing about the program is that we give the shoes to the same children every 6 months, so that as the child grows, the child gets a new pair of shoes. And so the most recent thing that we're doing is that we are trying to basically fundraise for the socks, so that we will be able to give the shoes with the socks. These are brand new school shoes. And these are given to the most vulnerable children, who are orphans, street children, mentally handicapped, visually challenged, refugee children, economically backward. So basically, what we're trying to do now is that we're trying to do this program where we are calling it an I Gave One, I Got One campaign, where every child from a more privileged background, we're calling upon them, going to schools, putting it online and, everything. And we're making these fundraising videos. And we've got actor Vishal as part of, the team that's doing the promotions, and he's in the videos. We're basically asking every child to give a pair of shoes to a child, give a pair of socks to a child in need.
Okay.
And so this is the I Gave One, I Got One program.
Okay,
so hopefully 110,000 children, and when I say children, that means their parents, hopefully, will contribute.
Yeah.
Like, for example, right now, when we were shooting the video, one of the children, the rich children whose mother came along when we were doing a shoot for this fundraising film, she immediately gave 200, 400 pairs of socks for all the children in the school that had, there were 2 poor children that had also come, and she gave the socks for that whole school. So today we just went to that school and we gave the shoes and the socks. So this is pretty much what we're trying to do. And it also gives children, it brings these young children in the, more privileged community to have an understanding of how important it is to also have a spirit of giving and to take care of others less privileged than themselves. So, and this campaign, we're hoping, we're going to start with socks, and then we're going to go on to notebooks and stationery, and hopefully by June uniforms as well. And we want to achieve 110,000 children to have, socks, school shoes, notebooks, pretty much
all over India?
Right now we're giving in many, many areas. So there's some in Andhra Pradesh, a lot in Tamil Nadu, So it's in many places in India. We've given in Delhi, in the slums of Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, wherever there's need and they're deserving people, we give.
Okay, how did this concept come about? Because it's such a large project.
I don't know. I guess we just, it just happened. I guess Vishal and I were trying to figure out how we're going to do this, and he came forward to give the wanting to be part of trying to do more, and our organization Offer, we're a refugee organization. My father has founded this organization, and I've been handling all the new programs here. And our refugees have gained so much from India. They've gained education, they've gained so much from this host country, so they're also very happy to give back. So as an organization now, there's talk of return to the island, and we're hoping that that is the next step for the organization and the refugees that we work with. But we have also started working with these 110,000 Indian children, and we've also worked in all these villages in Cuddalore, Indian villages with Indian people. So now we have about 1.5 lakh Indian beneficiaries. And so we are now trying this I Gave One, I Got One campaign is the beginning, where we're trying to give, all these things to children in need. And hopefully we'll do more. We're looking at doing women's safety programs for more than 6 lakh women. We've got all these plans.
Wow,
so it's interesting. It's an interesting stage for us, because we're taking what my father and Offer, have basically done over these 30 years,
Yeah.
this NGO, and managed to empower the entire 1 lakh strong refugee community. Now we're trying to do that with the Indian people and the most vulnerable people in the Indian community. So this is a new path that we're embarking on, and I Give One, I Got One campaign is pretty much the beginning of that. And hopefully, we're basically trying to use the concept of crowdfunding instead of just looking for one person to give huge amounts of money. It's so much better if we're able to get one little drop of water from everybody, and that'll make the whole ocean. So that's what we're hoping.
There are a lot of people who might not know who Vishal is. Can you tell us?
He's an
and whether
actor
and whether his supporting your cause has helped you.
Yes, he's an actor in Tamil cinema, but he's also right now stood for an election for the Nadigar Sangam, which I think is a South Indian Film Artists Association. And he's part of our campaign. And it definitely helps because, he's very much, dedicated to the same causes that we are. So it's sort of a program that we're sharing with him and doing together.
Okay. Now, this project, I think, will be taking up a whole lot of your time. Do you have time for other things?
Well, I've joined my grandfather's party, the TNA, this year, the beginning of this year.
Okay.
I've become a member of the party, the Tamil National Alliance. Well, the membership is the Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi. And all these, the parties have amalgamated into the Tamil National Alliance, which is now actually the party in opposition in Sri Lanka. And our leader is now the opposition leader as well, Mr. Samandan. So yes, and hopefully, right now I'm really involved with the social work, but little by little, yes, I'm hoping to get more involved in politics. And
I guess that would mean being in Sri Lanka more than in
Yes, I've already
India?
started spending quite a bit of time up and down between the two, but my work is here in terms of the social work, but I would like, to get more involved, but, all in good time.
So, you've been going back to Sri Lanka, you said, quite often. Now that you're a politician in the making, you are a politician, I guess. What would you say are the differences you've seen now compared to, say, 4 or 5 years back?
Well, definitely things are better because, the treatment of the Tamils perhaps is definitely a little better with this present government. And also even the security situation. Earlier there was a lot more, a lot of army presence. There was also this sort of feeling among the people that, this was a more, oppressive government to the Tamils. I'm just expressing the view that I found from the people. And therefore, I feel the people are more, they have more hope now. They think that something will come out of this, this new government, this new process, this whole, there's so much of new hope now that's come into play. They're, taking up issues because people had a lot of grievances. Some terrible things did happen. And a lot of people were very, it's difficult to feel that nothing will be done and you won't get justice, and now there's a hope, at least they will get justice in some way. So
do you feel that this idea of a united country between the Sinhalas and Tamils is now more feasible? When I say feasible, they're more united and they're not going to be talking about separatism and a separate Elam.
Well, the issue is that, of course, the Tamils, do need to receive basic rights. And
do you see that coming in the, near future?
For me, though, I think that what is more important now is that, and I'm not, this is why I'm not talking politically, because I feel like, I've been traveling in the country. I was traveling a lot and going and visiting the internally displaced and the people who were still living in, the poorest conditions all over the north and the east. I traveled and I was going into people's homes, sitting with them, talking to them. And, the thing is right now, there's so much of poverty, education levels have dropped, nutrition levels have dropped, and this is because of the war, in this whole country. And this affects not just the Tamils, it's the Sinhalese and the Muslims. Everybody is affected. So my feeling is, I'm not denying that there are issues and that we need our rights, but right now I think the main focus is that no child should go hungry and no mother should have to say that, look, I have only one meal to give my child every day, and no child should not be allowed to go to school because they've dropped out because of displacement, because of poverty. So those are the issues that we need to sort of focus on, and for that we need the government to take economic issues forward. We need a lot of investment in a country. So right now I would hope that the diaspora would look towards investing in, especially in the north and the east, because it's a war-torn economy. You have to rebuild that economy. So there's a lot that needs to be done in terms of I know that basic rights are also, yes, human rights and all these things, but basic rights for a child is that she shouldn't or he should not be hungry, that he should not, who should have a basic education, those things. And we need to make sure that every child in that country receives that.
So, where do you see yourself going from here?
Well, I'll always do the social work because I love it, and I really feel that there's always a need for it. And what we do is really basic. We educate children. We give them nourishment. We give women gender equality and safety workshops, and that's what we do, and I will always continue to do that because there's always a need for that, unfortunately. But yes, I hope to be more involved in politics, but it will be more on from the point of view of uplifting people and making a difference in people's lives. At least I hope so.
Now, this is a question I've always wanted to ask you. What are some of the lessons you might have learned in India which you can apply in Sri Lanka?
Oh, I think one of the most wonderful things about India is that there's so much of like a security blanket that's given to the ordinary people. For example, our Tamil Nadu government, whoever has been in power, has always given, right from MGR onwards to even right now our Honorable Chief Minister, everybody, they are giving so much of there are slippers being given, there are school bags being given, there are noon meal schemes being given, so no child is going hungry. Whatever basics.
You're talking about
in Tamil Nadu right now, whatever basics are being given, and even the Indian government
to all the children,
to every child in Tamil Nadu, and even the Indian government, they give a lot in terms of old age pension, even 500 rupees, whatever it is, and then there's something for there's health, but there's so many things where you can go and so you don't starve, and there's this new Amma canteen which I think is wonderful because for 5 rupees anybody can eat a good meal. So these are wonderful things, and everybody talks about development and we must be spending more on, but the point is that no person in this place should starve, right? And for that, at least there are wonderful things in place in Tamil Nadu, and that is not the case in Sri Lanka. They need to give more of these social schemes to people.
So will you be trying to introduce that?
Well, one of the reasons, yes. So these are the kind of things that by being, more involved in politics because these are policy decisions. These have to come from the government, and all that I'm seeing in my vision is about economic development, all of that. Being in an NGO, you can't do all of that. So that is why the next step is, it has to be on a higher level, and therefore while I've gotten involved in politics, I'm still not actively doing anything, but I hope to at some stage,
Yes. How would you try to convince the diaspora to come and invest in the north and the east, and maybe not just the north and east? Why just the north and east?
Yeah, the whole country.
Absolutely.
Yes. Here's the thing. Economically, you need to be. It has to be one nation. If you want to be, talking of economic progress, and you can't have, north and east and whatever. It has to be one nation, and we have to sort of, go forward together. So, but yes, we definitely. So here's the thing. The Tamil people especially, right? The issue used to be that they were so, they were very well educated, and there was I remember there was a Standardization Act at one point that came in because the Sinhala people, the Sinhala government at that time said that the Tamils had a better advantage in terms of education. But now, if you look at the people, their education levels have fallen. So I think it's really important that people in the diaspora, for example, start scholarship programs, start, interest-free loan programs, help these children because they're too poor right now to study. Unless, you see, we can't even talk to international nations and say, okay, you know what, start investing in our country, start setting up factories, start, setting up, businesses. Because the thing is, you have to have a labor force that will be able to work in those, industries.
Yeah.
And we need to first bring up the levels of education, and similarly in the single areas also, we must do that, and the Muslim areas must do that. So let's hope that people will come forward to. And another thing about Sri Lanka, which I really have an issue with, is like in India, when you have an ATG, which is where when you donate to charity, and even in America and most of the countries, when you donate to charity, you get a tax exemption, which is not available in Sri Lanka. So a lot of things have to be done in terms of making sort of this kind of charity more. I'm not getting the word, but more, just
accessible to a lot more people, to beneficiaries. I really hope. I'm going to say this every time you come to Casey's view spot, that I hope and pray that one day you will become either the Prime Minister or the President of a united Sri Lanka, and we will. As long as Casey's view spot is there, we will follow your progress, and please keep coming like this now and then.
Thank you.
Thank you for appearing.